Ya, selamat datang Bante Paññasāmī, Namo Buddhaya. Ya Bapak Ibu, kita persilakan untuk duduk kembali. Kami himbau kembali sekali lagi untuk Bapak Ibu untuk mensilentkan handphone Anda agar acara kita tetap hening, tenang dan nyaman. Untuk mengingatnya segera mengambil handphonenya untuk setel di mode silent. Terima kasih perhatiannya. For my friend English listener, we have English Zoom room. Zoom room in message box. You can join with Zoom ID 555-666-6767, password XXX. 555-666-6767. Thank you. Ya Bapak Ibu, ini ada sekilas mengenai profil yang mulia Bhikkhu Paññasāmī Thera. Beliau lahir di Sidikalang pada tanggal 24 Desember 1964. Pada masa mudanya yang mulia Bhikkhu Paññasāmī mengabdikan diri menjadi guru agama Buddha selama 10 tahun pada tahun 1984 hingga 1994. Pada tahun 1957, beliau menjadi asisten dosen di IIAB Sematunggal Medan selama 6 tahun hingga tahun 2002. Setahun kemudian, tepatnya pada tahun 5 Juli 2003, beliau ditabiskan menjadi seorang bhikkhu di Seo Omin Dhammasuka Tauya Forest Center, International Meditation Center, Yangon, Myanmar, oleh Sayadaw U Kusalananda. Setelah menjadi seorang bhikkhu, beliau juga tetap mengembangkan ajaran Buddha dengan menjadi seorang dosen agama Buddha di STAB Bodhidharma di tahun 2008 hingga sekarang. Yang mulia Bhikkhu Paññasāmī juga baru saja menyelesaikan pendidikan S2 Master of Arts in Buddhist Studies dari University of Peladeniya, Kandy, Sri Lanka tahun 2018 ini. Ya, kita memasuki sesi pemohonan ajaran Dharma kepada Bante yang akan dipimpin oleh Saudari Erika.
Terima kasih kepada Saudara Wiryanto. Kita akan segera mulai Aradhana Tisarana dan Pancasila, dimulai dari halaman 1. Okasa ahang bante tisaranena sating Pancasila Dhammang yacami anugahang katwasilang detame bande dutiyampi okasa ahang bande tisaranena sading Pancasila Dhammang yacami anugahang katwasilang Dethame bante tatiyampi okasa ahang bante tisaranena sading pancasilang tamang yacami anugahang katwasilang dethame bante amabante.
Tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tisarana gamanang sampunang
Amabante.
Pannati pata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Adina dana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Adina dana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Kamme sumicacara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Kame sumicacara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Surame raya majja pamadathana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Surame raya majja pamadathana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Imani panca sikapadani silena sugating yante silena boga sampada silena nibuting yante tasma silang wisodaye.
Amabante. Sadu, sadu, sadu. Bapak Ibu, marilah kita memohon pengajaran Dharma kepada Yang Mulia Bhikkhu Paññasāmī Thera dengan membacakan Aradhana Dhammadesana pada halaman 3. Brahmacaloka dipati sahambati Katanjali adiwarang ayacata santita sata paraja kajatika desetu tamang anukampimang pajang. Brahma Sahampati, penguasa dunia ini, merangkapkan kedua tangannya beranjali dan memohon, ada makhluk-makhluk yang memiliki sedikit debu di mata mereka. Ajarkanlah Dharma demi kasih sayang kepada mereka.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Kallena dhammasavanang etang manggalamuttamang. Kallena dhammasakacang etang manggalamuttamang.
So that is the homage to the precious Buddha, and Bhante is saying to be able to listen to the Dharma is the main or the major blessings.
Yang kami muliakan.
So the Venerable
Phurbu Tashi Rinpoche,
Lama Phurbu Tashi Rinpoche,
kita semua ya,
our teacher,
dengan kasih sayangnya setiap tahun ya.
So every year, with the compassion, Rinpoche is doing this money Dungdrub for everyone.
Pertemuan Dhamma ini, pesamuan Dhamma ini, sekaligus juga pelatihan ya. Sadhana.
So this is kind of sadhana's practice, mantra recitations of OM MANI PADME HUNG. I will look at the Shwara mantra. So the purpose for about this teaching is to raise the compassion within us. So to all lay people here, Namo Buddhaya. So Bhante is expressing his gratitude to Rinpoche and all the teams for doing this retreat every year consistently. And thanks for inviting Bhante to give this precious teaching to everyone here. So all the lay people here, this morning, I will be teaching about. It's about a daily practice and about a retreat to develop a mind.
Dalam kehidupan kita sebagai manusia yang sangat berharga ini,
so in our precious human rebirth, and due to this COVID-19 pandemic, this is the second year of the pandemic.
Dengan istilah yang sangat keren, ya, coronavirus.
The cool name of this pandemic is the coronavirus. So many wave. Previous one was Delta coronavirus, and now it's Omni coronavirus. Name is cool, but people who got sick from it is not cool. So this pandemic is make us understand that our life is precious, especially to be born as a human. Because of this pandemic, many of our family and then friends pass away because of this pandemic. So this make us realize that time is so precious.
dalam
Our
kehidupan
time is limited and
ini.
precious, and our life as
Kehidupan
human is
kita
precious.
ini dengan adanya pandemi ini menjadi lebih berarti. Karena kalau tidak ada bencana alam, tidak ada pandemi, tidak ada kesulitan, ya mungkin kita terlena. Ya. Orang Indonesia bilang lupa daratan. Ya, karena sedang menikmati fasilitas, ya, kesenangan yang ada. Nah, tentu bisa
Pleasure in our life, so we forget about how important is our life as a human. What is the purpose of our life?
Kesulitan ini atau
Because of the
masalah-masalah di dunia ini,
difficulties and the problems
itulah
in this world,
menjadi pemacu atau
it makes
penggugah
us eager.
sangwega,
It's a touch
menggugah
us,
kita
sawega,
bahwa ternyata kekayaan
to make us realize that the wealth that we have cannot buy the life that we have right now. Our wealth cannot be insurance for our life right now. So logically and intellectually, we all know that life is so short. But we tend to forget about that. We tend to forget that our life is short. We forget that we have so many problems. As a Buddhist, problems should not be our enemy, but the difficulties and the problems should be our friends, our Dharma friends. It's our friends to practice. The Buddha said, the first noble truth is about the suffering itself. So the suffering is actually the noble truth. So the unsatisfaction, so our life is full of unsatisfaction. So unsatisfaction in a Dharma point of view is very good. So it makes us not carried away by the flow or not carried away by the situation. So in a Dewa realm, in Dewa realm is so many pleasures, so it makes them forget. Make them forget to do the practice. Make them forget to cultivate the mind. Forget about the samsara. So in the human realm, the suffering is a lot. So under the human realm, so many suffering is there. So they to survive even it's very difficult for them. But in a human realm, we have a both. We have a suffering and we have a pleasure. We have happiness and we have a sadness. We have a profit and loss. We have a praise and then so there is an 8 worldly concern in the human realm. So that makes us realize, it makes us understand what is the purpose in our life, what's most important in our life, because life is a very short. If we are not careful enough with this, if we are not careful to protect our life, then we will become like an ice. Like a ice, whether you use it or not, it will melt itself. So our life is like that, like an ice. If we are not make a use of it, if we make use or we are not make use of it, our life will gone. For those who are careful, they will make the best use of their life. They will use their life to produce beneficial things in their life. They will, with their life, careful people will use their time wisely. So there is a story about a couple, husband and wife. So his name is Pasenadi Queen and Pasenadi King, and the Queen is Malika. So they were being asked, who's you love the most?
Ya tentu saja
So the queen
tidak.
answered,
Ternyata
of course, the
aku
king that I
kembalikan
love the
katanya,
most.
yang paling saya cintai dalam hidup ini adalah diri saya sendiri.
But instead of saying that, the
Betul kan
queen
itu?
said, I'm myself
Orang
that
yang
I love the most in
sadar.
this life.
Kalau memang betul
That's a
kita
sign of
paling
careful
mencintai
people.
diri kita sendiri, maka
If we
kita
love
tidak akan
ourselves,
menyia-nyiakan kehidupan kita ini.
we will not waste our
Tapi
life,
sebelum
our
itu Bante
time.
akan mengucapkan selamat kepada kita semua bahwa
So Bante
Anda
want to
lolos
congratulate to
dari
us
eliminasi sampai babak
because
kedua.
we are not being
Mudah-mudahan babak
eliminated
ketiga
until
juga
this second session. We
lolos,
are
ya.
still survive in this second
Sementara di
session.
Eropa, Singapura orang sudah lockdown lagi untuk
So in Europe and everywhere,
mempersiapkan
the pandemic make
ancang-ancang
them
ya,
have
jaga
to
diri, pasang kuda-kuda,
make them have
supaya
to close all the
terkena
country.
badai
So
ini.
Bante reminded us
Nah, mereka
to
bilang, "Ya, ini
stay
kami
safe
sudah
and
kayak
take care of
keponakan
ourselves.
gue." Tapi gelombang besar tsunami pandemi ini yang ketiga ini ya. Mudah-mudahan kita yang
So we
tetap
hope that we will survive
melanjutkan
in this
latihan
next
kita,
wave. And don't forget our practice.
bisa lolos eliminasi. Tapi
So
kalau
we
tidak
hope that
lolos
we can
bagaimana?
pass the elimination of the
Ya
third
tidak
wave.
apa-apa. Karena apa?
How if
Karena
we
kita
be eliminated?
tidak
It's
menyia-nyiakan
okay.
waktu kita sudah
But at
isi
least
dengan
we
ibadah
don't waste our
Tuhan,
time. We
dengan
fill
berbuat kebaikan.
our life with a
Sehingga kalau
practice
tidak
and
lolos,
do a
tidak
virtuous
apa-apa.
thing.
Nanti
So
di
if
akhir hayat,
we cannot pass this third wave of the
lagi
pandemic,
dapat
it's okay.
kondisi yang lebih
And
mendukung
hopefully
lagi untuk
after
melanjutkan.
this
Kan begitu?
life, we can have a
Karena kehidupan
better
ini
rebirth to
bukan hanya
continue our
sekali.
practice. In
Jadi
Buddhist, we
jangan
believe
terlalu
that our
takut
life is not
juga.
only once.
Karena terlalu takut
We
berarti
have
sudah
many
menderita
lives.
duluan kita. Betul. Hati-hati dan waspada penting.
So we have to be careful and aware. That's
Tapi
important.
kalau memang udah karmanya, ya,
But if karma or the law of cause and effect is there,
ya kan?
don't be too afraid of
Jadi
it.
ini penting bagi mentalitas orang
If you
Buddhis.
survive, you will survive.
Yang
That's the
paling
mentality
penting
of the
kata
Buddhists.
sang Buddha,
The most
kita
important,
boleh
as the Buddha
kehilangan
said,
harta, tapi jangan
we might
kehilangan
lose all our wealth,
kebijaksanaan.
but don't lose our
Kita
wisdom.
boleh
That's the
kehilangan
most important.
anggota tubuh kita,
We
tapi jangan
might
kehilangan
lose our
kebijaksanaan.
body,
Bahkan
but
kita
don't
boleh
lose our
kehilangan
wisdom.
nyawa kita.
We might
tapi
lose our
jangan
life,
kebijaksanaan.
but don't lose your wisdom.
Di agama Buddha sangat penting ya, dua
So in a Buddhist teaching, this is the most important. Our
yang paling
mentality.
mendasar bagi seorang Buddhis.
This is the basic
Bahkan ini
mentality that a Buddhist should have.
terkandung di dalam bodhicitta, yaitu
So this is also
dua
part of
sisi
bodhicitta.
pelatihan. Satu sisi pengembangan cinta
There's a two
kasih
side of a
belas
practice. One is
metta karuna,
cultivate the loving kindness,
maitri
the metta
karuna.
karuna
Di
or
sisi yang
maitri
lain,
karuna. And in the other
bijaksana
side
atau wisdom.
is a
Ini harus
wisdom.
sejalan.
So these two
Tidak
have to
cukup
be
hanya satu sisi.
in a one
Dua
path.
sisi ini penting
You cannot
untuk
only have a one of
membawa
them, but
kita
you have
kepada
to have both of
kemajuan
them.
batin. Dan
So
akan
by having this
membangun
two side,
spiritualitas
loving
kita,
kindness and
dan
compassion,
kita akan
you will
jadi
have a better mentality.
manusia atau menjadi insan yang memiliki
So if you have these
batin
two,
yang
it's called
hijau.
that you
Karena
have
cinta kasih
a
welas asih
progressive
ini
mind.
sebagai mata air kebaikan.
So loving
Apabila
kindness is
kita
like a
punya
source
cinta
of a
kasih
water.
welas asih, maka kita tidak akan berbuat jahat.
If we have a loving
Ya kan?
kindness and compassion,
Karena
we will
berbuat
not
jahat
do
kan ada
misdeeds or
kebencian,
non-virtues. We will
kesalahan.
not do things based
Kalau
on
Anda punya cinta
greed,
kasih,
hatred.
Anda tidak akan berbuat kejahatan.
If you have loving kindness and
yang
compassion,
merugikan diri sendiri
you will not do something
dan
that harm
merugikan orang
others.
lain.
And also, you will not
Kita
do
akan
something that harm
menjalankan
yourself.
sila. Kita
And you will
akan
follow
mempraktikkan
the
sila
basic
dalam
guidelines or
kehidupan
sila in
sehari-hari
Buddhism.
kita. Sebagai kekayaan moral, sebagai
So people that
kekayaan
practice a
moral,
moral discipline, it's
kekayaan
called
moral
that you
seorang
have a wealth
manusia.
in your hand.
Ya begitu.
You have a wealth as a human.
Kalau kita punya cinta welas asih, kita
If you have a loving and compassion,
mengembangkan kebaikan.
you will always spread the
Karena punya
kindness.
cinta kasih, orang baru bisa berbuat baik.
Because you have the loving kindness and compassion, that's why you do virtuous thing. If you don't have a loving and compassion, you will not have intention to the good things.
kekuatan
That's why that's called metta karuna, the power of loving and compassion.
menjadi sumber mata air kebaikan.
So this loving kindness and compassion is like source of the water.
Mata air kebaikan dalam diri kita.
That's the source of the kindness, that source of the kindness, source of a virtue
Orang di sekeliling kita.
that will be a source of a benefit for yourself and for others.
Akan menjadi sumber penderitaan bagi orang lain.
You will not become a source of suffering, but you will become a source of a virtues and a happiness for others, for yourself and environment. So this is very important. That's why all spiritual teacher in Theravada, Mahayana, Tantrayana, they emphasize in this cultivation of a loving kindness and compassion.
Ada Buddha atau bodhisatta yang
So there is no Buddha or Bodhisattva that appear in this world if they don't have a loving kindness and compassion.
Tapi dengan cinta kasih ulas asih saja belum cukup. Ya.
But only with the loving kindness and compassion is not enough.
Mengembangkan satu kualitas penting
If you don't have this, the other quality that's called wisdom, that's not enough. Or in Mandarin you say
Karena kalau
cehui.
kita punya cinta walas asih yang besar, tapi tidak dibarengi.
So if you have a great compassion but you don't have wisdom, it's like a not balance.
Apa namanya? Kurang memahami Dhamma. Ini masalah.
It will make you have a less understanding about Dharma. So you have to have both of them.
Harus kita kembangkan.
So you need to have a right speech and a right mind. So if you have that, then you could do a virtuous thing with correct way to the correct person, efficiently and effectively, because you have the wisdom.
Berbuat baik itu dengan cara-cara yang bijaksana.
So you need to do virtuous thing as well with the wisdom, not just a random or what you want.
Kenapa? Ya, ini istilah bahasa Hokkien Rinpoche. Ho sim ho kau ka itu. Baik hati tapi digigit anjing.
So there is a saying said, if you good person but being bite by the dog. Why?
Ya. Kenapa bisa begitu? Karena kita baik hati tapi on.
Because you are kind, but you don't have the wisdom.
Kurang bijaksana.
You are kind, but you don't have that intelligent.
Holang li yong hia. Ya.
So when you help other people, they take advantage of you because you only have the compassion, but you don't have a wisdom.
Wano, ya. Dia pakai bahasa Hokkien tuh.
So you have to open your eyes widely, otherwise people will take advantage of you.
Makanya kita harus jeli, ya.
So we have to be careful, we have to aware as a Buddhist. So in the Buddhist teaching itself, it teaches you to have both compassion, loving kindness, and the other side is wisdom. So these two qualities is the same important. So if you have compassion, you will not do a non-virtue. You will abandon the non-virtue. If you have loving kindness, compassion, you will always cultivate the kindness. But if you have a wisdom, then you can purify your mind. So this is the Buddha's teaching. So don't have a misunderstanding of it. So in Theravada, Mahayana, and Tantrayana is all the same. So the basic teaching is the same, but the means or the skillful way depends on each tradition. If you say you are a Buddhist, if you say you believe in a Buddha teaching, so you need to have this both. So abandon the non-virtues and add more or cultivate the virtue and purify your mind. This is the Buddha's teaching. Without these three, it's not a Buddhist. So all the lay women and lay men here to discipline ourselves in order to reach this the mental state, we need to do the practice. If we tend to forget, then we will be carried by the flood. What kind of flood? Flood of desire, flood of a wrong view,
dan banjir lainnya. Jadi seperti orang yang tertidur tidak
so
sadar,
it's like
tidak jaga-jaga, tidak waspada.
so not the
Ketika hujan deras
careless people is
semuanya
like people that
hanyut,
are sleeping.
banjir,
When they're asleep,
matilah.
their house is carried by
Nah,
the flood,
jadi
so
begitulah
they will die.
Sang Buddha mengatakan,
That's why the
orang
Buddha
yang
say
sadar adalah yang
people that are
benar-benar
aware,
hidup.
people that are careful is the truly live people. They
Kesadaran
truly
akan
live.
menuntun kita menuju kekekalan.
Because the carefulness, awareness
Ketidaksadaran akan
will lead
membawa
us
kita menuju
to
penderitaan atau kematian.
our goal. But if you're
Kematian
not
dalam
careful, it
bahasa
will show you ways to
Dhamma,
the
salah
lower
satu
realms.
artinya marah. Marah itu
So in Buddhist, we
kematian
call that
adalah
a mara.
marah. Ya, tadi ada setan marah, ada juga marah dalam arti sifat, yaitu loba dosa.
So
moha.
mara can be two things.
Bisa
One is our personality,
menyisakan kebencian, kebodohan, iri hati.
that
Juga
personality
ada
that
marah dalam arti kematian, maut. Ya.
so
Karena
there is a
orang
two kind of
mati itu
mara.
pencerahan
First
dari
mara is
hati
more
sendiri.
like our affliction.
Orang
The
yang
second mara
pencerahan
is the
tidak dihukum
the
mati,
die itself.
tapi mencapai pembebasan, liberation, ya, atau mencapai
So if you
pencerahan,
can't fight this
mencapai
mara,
bebas.
then you will attain your goal, that liberation.
Tidak mati. Karena kalau yang mati
You will
itu
not die.
orang yang tidak mencapai pencerahan baru disebut
So
mati.
die people
Ya.
here, we call that
Baiklah.
people that are not
Lalu apa
achieve
pentingnya
the
kita
liberation.
melatih diri? Kalau
And
nggak
how
melatih
important
diri, kenapa
to
rupanya? Ya, itu
develop
tadi, kalau nggak
oneself.
melatih diri,
If we
kita
don't
nggak punya
develop
kemampuan
our
untuk mengatasi
ourselves, then what
penderitaan
happened?
kita sendiri.
If we develop our
Kalau kita
mind
tidak
in a
melatih
good
diri
way,
kita,
we can
berarti
overcome the
kita tidak
suffering.
menolong diri kita. Kita
If
tidak
we are
punya
not
pulau
practice, we are
perlindungan
not
bagi diri
develop
kita.
ourselves, it
Sang
means
Buddha
we are not care
mengatakan,
with ourselves. We
jadilah
should be a
dirimu
protection for
sebagai
ourselves.
pulau perlindungan
The
bagi
Buddha
diri.
said, make yourself as a
Ya
island
kan?
of a protection of
Jadi
yourself.
artinya kita dilatih, diajar Sang Buddha untuk melatih diri
So
itu
Buddha
menjadi
trained
kita
us
menjadi
to
makhluk
stand on
yang
our own, to
mandiri
protect ourselves,
secara
to be
spiritual.
able to
Kita
protect
mampu,
ourselves
kita mampu
spiritually.
melindungi diri kita. Dengan apa? Ya dengan
So
melatih
how we
diri
protect
kita dalam
ourselves?
Dhamma.
By practicing
Mempraktekkan
in
Dhamma.
Dharma,
Siapa yang mempraktekkan
engaging in
Dhamma,
Dharma.
Dhamma akan melindunginya.
Those that engage in the Dharma, that will become an
Siapa yang
island of
melakukan
protection
karma
for
baik,
themselves.
karma baiklah melindunginya.
Those
Karma
who
tidak baik
do a
misalnya
good karma,
menguncarkan, melapalkan
they will
ini
make an
Om Mani
island of
Padme Hung.
protection for
Ini kan
themselves.
untuk
Like yourself right now reciting Om Mani Padme
batin
Hung,
yang luhur.
this is a
Kita
practice
belas Anda.
to develop
Untuk
the
menutup
loving
keran
kindness in
cinta
your
kasih,
mind.
belas kasih Anda. Yang mungkin selama ini tertutup kerannya. Jadi tidak mengalir. Sehingga terbiasa untuk berbuat kejahatan. Orang yang berbuat jahat,
Most
orang
of
yang
people, they
marah-marah,
have a habit
itu
to
karena
do
nggak bahagia.
misdeeds or a non-virtuous thing.
Kalau kita bahagia,
So
kita
if
nggak
you
bahagia.
spend your time
Biasanya kalau
by
orang bahagia,
getting angry and
suka berbuat
and
baik.
so on, it means you're
Kalau orang
unhappy
lagi
people,
stres,
because happy
marah-marah.
people
Kan
will
begitu?
not do
Artinya Anda
non-virtuous
tidak
thing.
bahagia. Ya, kalau batin Anda stres, timbul kebencian. Karena
So
nggak
if your
bahagia,
mind
timbul
is a
kebencian.
stress, then
Tapi kalau Anda stres,
hate will came out from your
Anda
mind.
melatih diri, Anda masih bisa mengendalikan.
If you train
diri.
yourself, you
Tidak
will be
berbuat
able to
jahat.
control yourself
Ingat
to not
pesan
doing
Dhamma.
non-virtue.
Ya,
You will
bisa
not
menahan diri.
you will keep your
Bisa
morality
menghindari.
discipline.
Tapi kalau
You
tidak
can
melatih
abandon
diri,
the
kita
misdeeds.
stres sedikit, kerjaan banyak,
If you have a little bit
banyak,
stress, a lot of work,
ada masalah dikit,
a lot of
di rumah
problem,
marah-marah.
whether at
Istri
home and
dimarah,
office, and then you get
suami
angry
dimarah,
easily, then it's
anak
not good.
marah,
You
pembantu
get angry
dimarah.
to your children, to your husband.
Jadilah pemarah.
All people
Habis
that become
marah
of
baru menyesal.
they will become an object of your anger.
Bante, saya tahu marah itu tidak baik, Bante.
And you will
Tapi
say
saya
like, oh,
nggak
I
bisa
know
menahan
getting
diri, Bante.
angry
Kalau
is
nggak
not good, but I
marah
cannot
juga nggak
control
bisa, Bante.
myself.
Ini sudah
I
hobi
really
marah.
cannot
Jadi
control myself.
sudah jadi pemarah.
My hobby is to get
Ini
angry.
kan karena dibiasakan. Ya?
This because you
Itu juga
habituate your
keburukan-keburukan
anger.
lainnya. Karena kita
And
biasa.
this is same
Kita
with the other
latih dia.
bad personality. We have to
Akhirnya
train.
keburukan ini berkembang.
When you
Kalau
train these
keburukan berkembang,
bad
berarti
things,
karma buruk
the bad things will
tambah dong.
cultivate.
Ya?
If the bad personality cultivate, you will do more bad karma.
Nah, ini makanya di sinilah pentingnya kita melatih diri itu.
So it is
Melatih
important
diri
to
ini
train
bagian
oneself,
daripada
because
praktek
train
Dharma.
oneself
Belajar Dharma
is a
itu kan
part
ada
of
tiga
a
tahap.
Dharma practice. So there is 3 stages of a Dharma practice. Pariyati Dharma, it means like a study Dharma. It's like this right now,
Dengar Dharma,
studying Dharma,
belajar Dharma,
listening to the
diskusi
Dharma,
Dharma, baca buku Dharma.
Dharma
Itu
discussion.
belajar. Ya.
This is called study.
Tapi kalau hanya belajar teori tidak dipraktekkan,
But if you only learn the theory, but you're not practice, it's like you are sick, you have the medicine, but you don't
hanya
eat the
baca
medicine.
resep saja.
You only have the medicine, just read the medicine.
Ya.
When you have the medicine, you have to eat it if you want to be healed.
Masak. Sesuai dengan petunjuk. Diminum.
You have to eat the medicine according to the guidelines.
Dikasih
So if
obat,
you are sick,
ya,
somebody
kita
give you a
kasih kita
medicine.
obat.
So
Ya kan?
the Buddha is like giving us the
Dharma
medicine.
dipaparkan.
The medicine is the
Tinggal kita
Dharma
makan.
itself. Then we have to
Kita nggak mau makan,
consume
sembuh nggak?
the Dharma.
Ya, nggak
If we
sembuh,
don't
kita
eat the
baca
Dharma,
juga.
can we heal
Baca
ourselves?
resep
Of course, no.
Ya.
It's only like it's like only reading about the medicine.
Ingredientnya, ini.
You only read the ingredient of the medicine.
Ya, cari lagi
We make a research of the medicine.
Apa
We,
itu ini?
we search on Google about what is this medicine, what is that medicine.
Tapi nggak kita
We
makan.
got all the information, but we don't eat the medicine. Yeah, of course, you cannot be healed. You will not recover.
Kita tahu Dharma, teorinya udah dengar. Ya.
We know the theory of the Dharma.
Baca,
We
bahkan ada
discuss a
yang
lot,
hafal.
we read a lot, and we memorize
Tapi
everything.
nggak dipraktekkan.
But if you don't do the practice,
Bisa berbuah nggak? Nggak bisa.
there will be no
Mesti kan
result.
dipraktekkan. Sang Buddha
So you
bilang,
have to
"Orang
practice
yang
after you read and
ahli
study.
Dharma bukanlah orang yang
So the Buddha is like an
menghafalkan.
expert of the Dharma,
Walaupun kita
not
hafal banyak
people
kitab
that memorize the Dharma.
Tipitaka sekalipun, kalau nggak dipraktekkan, itu
If you
bagaikan
can memorize the whole Tripitaka, but you are not practicing the Dharma itself, it's like you are counting other people's cows.
Tiara sapi. Tadi sapinya sang Buddha ini.
You yourself, you don't have the cows, but you're counting other people's cows. What is the benefit of it?
Begini, yang jantan berapa, yang betina berapa.
So you know, for example, if Buddha have this kind of cow, what is the age of the cow, what is the color, and what is the shape, you know everything. You know everything clearly, but you yourself don't practice the Dharma. It's like counting other people's cow, but you yourself don't have the cows. If you have only one cow, you can have a cow milk. It's like you know a lot of Dharma theory, but you don't practice. It will not be powerful. It will not bring benefit to yourself. But if you only know a little of the Dharma, but if you practice consistently, of course you will get the benefit. For example, like this, if we know Om Mani Padme Hung meaning, you really need to know what is the meaning of the Om Mani Padme Hung mantra. This Om Mani Padme Hung mantra is the core practice of Avalokiteshvara. All the essence of the Buddha's teaching is in this mantra. So I've been explaining about this mantra in a few years ago in this same session. So Om itself, it means like body, speech, and mind. So we want to achieve a liberation, a Buddhahood, to liberate from suffering. Of course, because if we want this, we have to cultivate money. Money is a jewel, precious jewel. What is loving kindness and compassion? If you have a loving kindness and compassion in yourself, it means like you have a jewel, wish-fulfilling jewel in yourself. Because if you have this compassion and loving kindness, you will do a virtuous thing. So if you doing virtue, whatever you want, it can be fulfilled.
Apapun yang bisa kita capai berkat dukungan timbunan jasa kebajikan.
So it's like the Buddha itself. Whatever you want to achieve, you need the support of your virtue. You need the support of your own merits. It's called parami or perfection. So if you want to born as a handsome of beautiful people and then have intelligent, peaceful, and then prosper, this all is come from your own merits.
Atau tinggal di mana? Di Amerika atau di mana? Ini katanya di Amerika.
So whatever you are in Indonesia or America,
Anda tinggal, kalau Anda tinggal
wherever you are right now, if you want to have a very secure livelihood and also a prosperity, you need to have a merit at the first place. If you don't have enough merits, then it will not happen. You will live in the place that very poor, there is no water, and then war everywhere. It's because you are lack of a merit.
Ya, kalau di Indonesia ini negara yang se-Indonesia ini tempat yang jarang gempa itu cuma 2 tempat. Kalimantan.
So in Indonesia, only 2 places that not have so many earthquakes. First is Sumatra, second is Kalimantan.
Pati rupa desa wasoja, etang manggala mutamang.
So the Buddha say, if you have a right place to live, that's a major blessing. That's a great blessing. So we are right now have a very proper life environment. We have a Rinpoche, we have a vihara, we have a monastery around. That's a very blessed, you know. Not all places have this kind of condition. So we should be thankful. We should be grateful. We should be thankful to all Dharma teacher like a Rinpoche that willing to come to here all the way from US to here to teach Dharma. We should be thankful to our own merits. We should be grateful and thankful for our previous life because we cultivate the merits. If in the past we don't know how to create virtue, and will be no today. Maybe we will be in a hungry ghost realm, or animal realm, or asura realm. So we are not there, of course, and obviously because we have these merits. Because in a previous life we learn Dharma and practice Dharma. If we never do good things, we never practice Dharma, it will be difficult to attend this kind of teaching right now. You will not get interest and obstacles everywhere because not enough of merits. If you, right now, you can join this event and come here, it means you have enough merits from previous life. So train yourself means you trained all the good factors, all the good mentality in yourself. So in oneself, you have actually in a human, there's actually a 14 bad like a mental factors. The bad one is only 14, but the good mental factors is 25. So which means we have more goodness in ourselves. But why more people engage in a non-virtue or bad things? Why? Because you always habituate only the bad one. So if you go for exercise in the gym, you always exercise your muscle, right? Whatever muscle in your arms, in your thigh, wherever. If you train your muscle often and consistently, then you will get the muscle. It's the same like your mentality. If you habituate the good one, then the good one will appear. If you cultivate only the bad one, and the bad one will get stronger. So if you only do like a small good things, but you habituate that if you always habituate this a good one, it will getting bigger and bigger.
Kebiasaan akan menjadi watak atau karakter.
So
Orang yang berwatak
if you
baik
habituate one thing, it will become your personality.
cenderung pada kebaikan. Kalau ada undangan ke wihara, oh senang. Undangan
If you
ke
get invitation to a monastery, you will be happy. But someone invited to the club, you will not be happy. But if you always developing this hatred or mental poison, and you get invited into a monastery or a teaching, you will reject this invitation. You will have so many excuses. Oh, I have an invitation for wedding and all this stuff. But if someone invite you for doing drugs or going to a club, you will be happy. So ask yourself, which mentality that you develop in your life right now.
Kita yang ngajak, bukan tunggu diajak dulu, bukan tunggu diundang. Kita yang undang, panitia itu, panitia acara ini kan. Ayo Bapak Ibu sini ada acara, Rinpoche mengadakan acara ini untuk mengembangkan kebaikan supaya kita semua.
So if somebody is cultivate a kindness, it's like right now, all the committee that inviting you or spreading the news everywhere, they invite people because they have kindness inside themselves. They know this event is important and precious. That's why they invite all of you. That's why the Buddha said, if you are doing good things, please invite others as well to do good things. So if we have friends or parents or friends that support in their virtues, that's a great blessing. So we should invite more old people, invite our parents and grandparents to do virtue, especially those who have a short life. If you have a short life, that you should do more virtues. Yeah, but it doesn't mean young people will have a longer life. You know, you never know that, but you always need to engage in the virtue.
Dapat the beautiful sunset, orang bule paling suka itu. Artinya di akhir hidupnya masih dapat.
So there's a saying called a beautiful sunset, which means like even in the end of your life, you still give a benefit to others. You still make a best use of your life. So this is a very good karma. So in our daily life, we need to train ourselves. So do I still have time?
11.15, berarti waktu Bante tinggal 15 menit.
So my time is 15 minutes left. So I have to make use of my time right now. So in our life, we need to train ourselves, need to habituate. We need to repeat the good things, the virtuous thing, and the bad things we should abandon, we should leave it. So we try our best with our best effort and the right effort to abandon the non-virtue. It's called Sama Vayama in the Eightfold Noble Path. So we have to abandon the non-virtuous thing that not arise in ourselves. We have abandoned it. If we already have, if we have bad things in our personality, then we have to leave it. So if you used drug before, now try your best to leave it. So the good things, the virtue, you should repeat that again and again. Because the good things, if you repeat it, it will become your character. And then when it becomes your character, it will become a perfection or paramita or your own merits. So if you have enough merits, you will have a good life. If you're reborn again, you will have a good condition, and then you will have connection with the Buddha's teaching. You will not be separated with the Buddha's teaching in this life or in the next life. You will always meet a very authentic Dharma teacher. For example, Rinpoche, if you don't have connection, he will not come all the way from far to here.
Yang lain
Every
kan
year
tiap tahun
Rinpoche is
bikin
doing this event for
acara,
you.
tapi beda. Ini kan acaranya ada Dharma.
Other people also making a event, but it's a different. Rinpoche is making a different event from others.
Nah, ini penting.
Not only a recite
Kalau yang
the mantra, but also have a teaching.
ya kan? Morning chanting, evening chanting.
So mostly people only have a basic training in their life, like a morning chanting and evening chanting. So it's like food, you know, you need also food for your mind, not only for a physical body. Yeah. You have like a very enough food for your body, but also you need to have enough food for your mind. It's like people that are pregnant but never give birth.
Kalau ibu-ibu udah hamil melahirkan.
It's only happened to a man, you know.
Pernah melahirkan. Walaupun sudah kayak 7 bulan. Ya ini. Jadi itu penting. Makanan
so this is very important. Food for your mind in order to make it balanced. Not only physically healthy, but also mind healthy. So you have to be delight in the virtue, delight in reciting sutra, mantra, and eager delight in a meditation and make a habit of it. If possible, more diligent of it, like a day and night.
Dalam bukunya Outliers itu mengatakan ya dengan juga Profesor Anders Ericsson.
One professor and one author say that we can master one method or one skill if we practice more than 10,000 hours. So if 1 hour a day and 1 hour in the evening, then how many years that you can accomplish 10,000 hours? Maybe you need 10 years.
Kalau Rinpoche di Tibet itu ada retreatnya yang 3 tahun, 3 bulan, 3 minggu.
So in Tantrayana we have a traditional retreat like a 3 years, 3 months, and 3 years. That's around more. That's I think more than 10,000 hours.
Udah 10.000 jam itu, ya kan? Nah kalau kita biku minimal harus ikut sama guru itu 5 wasa.
So for us as a Theravada monk, we have to follow our teacher around 5 years. Like under guidance, our teacher around 5 years to practice our discipline and all those things. And after 5 years, we can say that our master we can master the practice, and also we need a teacher that can guide us. Or we need to have a spiritual friends, or what we call as a Kalyana Mitra, the people that have a more understanding to guide us. So if we have a friend or Dhamma friend, then we have a role model for our practice. Like right now, we have a Rinpoche, we have a Sanghas. So it will become our support, it become our mentor, it become our teacher, and become our Dhamma friends to support our practice. So we don't go too far or go to the wrong way, because we have a role model. We have somebody that guide us. If we don't understand, we have a place to ask. We have a sharing friends. So what we experience in our practice, it doesn't mean we are always right. So we need to find guidance and ask. We need to find an expert to ask, to discuss about our experience during the practice. Even, for example, if we have a map, sometimes we might get lost, you know. But if we have expert that can show the place, we will not get lost. And if we have guide, we can reach our destination faster. Because our mentor know what is best for us, and then they know where should we go, left or right, and we can get a better guidance, so we don't face many obstacles or hindrance.
buku, latihan. Oh,
If we don't have a
tahu.
mentor and guide, that will be
Karena kita
difficult.
tidak
Even we read a
pengalaman,
book, we might
kita membaca
misunderstanding
dengan
about the
membaca
meaning.
berdasarkan pemahaman kita yang tidak berpunya pengalaman di situ. Jadi kita mengartikan berdasarkan pengalaman yang lalu-lalu yang tidak sesuai dengan itu. Kan bisa ngawur itu. Tidak sesuai dengan metode yang apa? Tidak sesuai dengan jalan yang
So if
kita
we don't
mau
have a
tempuh.
mentor, that will be
Kita
difficult for us to understand
bereferensi
things because we
yang
don't
tidak tepat.
read or we don't learn that as the expert.
Cari ada
We compare with
yang
our
guide
past or
kita ya,
previous
spiritual guide, guru
experience.
spiritual.
But if we have a spiritual
Sahabat
teacher,
Dharma.
we have a mentor,
Kalian
that's
minta.
what,
Kita, oh,
especially
lihat ini,
our teacher
kasih
is
kita
an
banyak
expert of that matter,
informasi
we
yang
will
benar.
have
Itu
easier,
penting. Kalau
easier
pengembangan
path,
batin, itu kita
smooth
perlu
path
mendapat
to understand what is
informasi yang
exactly
benar
the
tentang
meaning.
metode
We
yang
will
sedang
get
kita praktekkan
good
hari ini.
information about the
Kemudian ada
method that
guru
we are
pembimbing
practicing right
yang
now.
ahli,
We have
yang piawai,
an expert
sehingga bisa
and
menambah
scholars
kapasitas
or
kita
people that
di dalam
really,
mempraktekkan.
really understand the
Kalau
method.
mempraktekkan ada masalah,
We will not get
kita bisa
lost.
tanya
If you have a
ke
problem,
pikiran.
we can
Sehingga
ask,
kesulitan kita
we can
akan
discuss with
sedikit
our spiritual
sekali
teacher.
atau jauh berkurang dibandingkan kalau kita praktek sendiri bisa ngawur.
So if
nyasar
we
kita.
practice,
Nah,
do
ini
the practice by
penting ada
ourselves, we might
guru
get
yang
lost. That's
bisa
why it's very
memberi petunjuk
important
yang tepat
to have a
sesuai dengan
spiritual teacher,
tahapan-tahapan
authentic teacher,
kemajuan
and
kita.
the teacher that
Sehingga
can
kita
guide us. And
lebih cepat maju, lebih terhindar
so
dari
if we have a
masalah,
teacher, we
ya.
can progress easily
Selain
and
10.000 jam
faster.
tadi, ya. Nah, kemudian untuk mencapai kemajuan itu kita perlu mengembangkan
So in order to have a progress, we need to have a 4 idipada.
batin atau spiritual untuk maju.
We need a 4 base of mind in order to progress.
Ada itu. Idipada 4. Satu, kita mesti punya
The first one,
canda
we need to have a
kita
chanda.
senang, gembira,
It's
bahagia,
kind of chanda means a delight in do the
berbuat baik,
practice,
senang.
a delight in the
Sudah senang,
virtue.
akan timbul semangat.
If you're not
Kalau kita
delight
tidak
in it,
senang,
you will not get
kita
interest.
tidak akan semangat untuk melaksanakannya.
If
Begitu
you
juga
don't
belajar.
have this delight
Senang
mind,
belajar
you
aja,
will
senang
not
dengan guru yang
happy
mengajar.
in a study or doing a
Kalau
virtue
ketemu guru
things.
yang kita tidak senangi, malas kita belajarnya.
If you meet
Nah, itu.
teacher that you
Senang
don't like,
mempelajari,
you will not get
senang
interest to
melakukan
study or
kebaikan, senang
practice.
mengerjakan pekerjaan
So
yang kita
you have
kerjakan.
to be delight in a
Chanda.
virtue and
Nanti
delight
akan
in a
timbul
practicing
semangat,
dharma
wirya,
or whatever it
ada
is.
energi,
It's called
ada
chanda.
semangat.
The second is
Terus
called virya.
melakukan,
Virya is a
terus
figure
mengerjakan.
or
Karena
effort
kita tahu
or
manfaatnya,
spirit
tahu
or
gunanya,
joyful.
tahu
So
hasilnya.
before we
Kita
practice,
sendiri
we need to
merasakan.
know what is
Jadi
the
begitu kita
benefit and what's the
praktekkan,
result
akan
after
timbul
I do
semangat.
this.
Karena kita merasakan
That's
hasilnya.
why it makes us, it
Ketiga,
will raise
akan
our
timbul
spirit to do
rasa
that.
fokus. Kita
If we
bisa
have the spirit,
fokus
so
untuk
we
latihan.
can
Tidak
focus,
lari
we
sana lari
can
sini.
consistent,
Artinya kita
we will
melakukan
not go to the wrong
tidak
path
main-main.
because
Jadi
we
itu kemajuannya nyata,
devoted to
ya.
what we are
Yang
doing.
keempat, wimangsa. Ada evaluasi dan perbaikan.
So the last
Karena
one, we
itulah
have to
kita para guru,
evaluate.
banyak kalian mitra kita, mana
We have to
pelatihan
ask our
kita
teacher,
perbaiki.
ask our Dharma
Yang sudah bagus
friends.
kita kembangkan lebih lanjut. Yang tidak
If
bagus,
we are
yang
doing
salah,
good,
kita
we
perbaiki
have
terus.
to
Kita
increase.
kembangkan.
If we are
Tambah
not doing
lagi,
good, then we have to
tahapan mana,
fix that.
detail mana yang perlu kita kembangkan.
We have to go to the
Belum kita
detail.
capai.
We have to ask
Kita
the
punya,
expert. In
nah,
this
itu
case, the
namanya,
expert is the teacher and our
tahapan itu kita
spiritual
ngerti
friends.
detail-detailnya.
And when
Nah,
we
itu
know
kita
clearly
perbaiki,
about that, then we
mengembangkan
can
terus. Sehingga
evaluate
menjadi
which one is good that I
satu
should develop
tujuan.
more and which one is not good that
Sehingga
I
dalam
should
10.000 tahun
abandon.
tidak hanya mengulangi satu hal yang sama berkali-kali, tapi ada pengembangan sehingga bisa menjadi ahli, menguasai.
So this is important if you want to be an expert.
Metode tersebut. Ya, ini pada 4. Untuk lebih memantapkan itu kadang-kadang kita perlu retreat, ya. Retreat karena sehari
And to make it even more stronger, sometimes we have to do like some kind of a
12
retreat.
jamnya lagi, 14 jam lagi pergi karaoke, pergi dugem.
If, for example, if we only practice 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, and the rest of the time we go for like hang out and then scroll into the social media, that will not really help. So retreat is kind of like to charge your battery, to make you more intense and go deeper to the practice.
Kemudian dengan ada retreat itu ada pendalaman, ya.
So daily practice is like the base, and the retreat is like to deepen what you've been practicing in your daily life.
Kejernihannya.
So you have more clarity when you're doing the retreat,
Itu pentingnya.
and you have more clear understanding.
Bhikkhu Sangha ada retreat musim penghujan,
So
wasa, ya.
in for the monks, they have a rainy retreat.
3 tahun, 3 bulan, 3 minggu.
But Rinpoche spent his time to do a retreat 2 times, and each time he spent 3 years. It's quite long.
Retreat belum jadi
But my experience,
udah pergi retreat tuh wah baterainya itu pol, ya.
for my experience, after I come back from retreat, my battery is always full, and I feel more delight. I feel more joyful because I did charge my battery from the retreat. If you don't charge your battery, it's like your phone. You will get low battery.
Nanti latihan hariannya itu sudah berjalan lebih alamiah. Bukan hanya pagi sore saja. Pagi sore itu yang
After retreat, maybe you not only spend a morning and evening, but
atau living practice, ya. Itu dalam kegiatan sehari-hari.
the real practice is live with the practice. Like whatever you do is a part of your practice.
Belajar sadar. Udah retreat nanti pulang-pulang jadi sering sadar S2.
So before go to retreat, you're just aware. But after you retreat, then you will be more aware. But when you live with the discipline, or when you live with the practice itself, you will be more aware.
Kacau itu. Itu artinya Anda tidak sadar, menghayal itu, ya kan gitu. Lagi nyetir apalagi, ya, lebih bahaya. Apalagi ada yang kerja di pabrik yang pakai mesin-mesin yang
So you need to have a you need to have awareness in your life. It's like, awareness is like what you need when you are driving, or it's like people that work in a company with a machine that automatically do their things. So you need to have awareness in your mind.
Living meditation, ya.
It's called a living meditation, because you live with the meditation, you live with the awareness.
Ada relik. Artinya apa? Biku yang di dapur masak itu sampai meditasi itu. Jadi itu living meditation.
So for some monks, they not only meditation, they not only do the meditation, but they live with the meditation. Whatever they do is part of their meditation. When they cook, even when they cook, they are doing that with the full awareness. It's like meditation. So think like what the Buddha think, say things like what the Buddha say, and also have a mind like a Buddha mind. What is Buddha mind is awareness. So think with awareness. So you will not follow this non-virtuous thought. Don't say something that harm or hurt others. That's one of the 8 activity. When you cut onions, you need to be careful. Don't cut your hands.
Jadi itu praktek berkesadaran dalam kehidupan sehari-hari. Itu kalau sudah.
So this is called mindfulness in daily life. Not only doing a chanting in a morning or evening, but also need to practice that in your life. That's called, if you do that, you live with the practice, it's called you have a retreat in a whole life.
Itu yang sudah tingkat tinggi, ya. Nah, kalau masih biasa ya meditasi ya duduk, itu biasa.
If you meditate only sit and close your eyes, that's wrong.
Anda meditasi sampai bermimpi.
In your daily activity, you also need to be to do the meditation, which means you have to be mindful and you have to be aware.
Bermimpi lagi. berarti sudah arahat itu, atau sudah Buddha. Itu nggak bermimpi lagi. Makanya kalau ada yang bilang,
So if it say the Buddha and Arahat, they don't have dream anymore.
oh, masih mimpi nggak? Kalau masih belum berarti gitu. Itu.
If someone say, oh, you attain arahathood, you should ask, are you still have a dream during sleep time? If you still have a dream, which means you are not yet attained arahathood.
Ya, hanya sesama arahat yang tahu orang lain arahat, atau yang
Only
kalau kita yang lebih
only
arahat, kita nggak tahu. Jadi kalau
if you want to know whether someone is attained arahathood or not, you yourself have to attain arahathood first.
Kita semua bisa terbang loh, naik pesawat kan gitu.
If oneself can fly, it doesn't mean you are arahat. You also can fly by taking a flight, right?
Jadi parami. Jangan.
So you need to cultivate the virtue.
Sistem kebut semalam. Sehari-hari tidak belajar, mau ujian baru belajar sepanjang malam.
Don't only study when you have to take an exam tomorrow. So that's not really recommended. If you really want to be an expert, you need to learn every day.
Sudah banyak jam yang Anda lewati untuk belajar, berarti menguasai, kan gitu. 10.000 jam, kan gitu. Baru ahli.
You need to have this 10,000 hours to be an expert. So if there is one saying, say practice make perfect. So thank you very much for listening. May this event become one of a source of a virtue and source of your living and compassion for your life. So thank you, and we'll see you later.
Terima kasih kita sampaikan kepada Yang Mulia Bhikkhu Paññasāmī Thera. Selanjutnya penyerahan cenderamata dan piagam apresiasi kepada Bante Paññasāmī oleh Yang Mulia Phurbu Tashi Rinpoche. Foto bersama. Baik, demikianlah sesi pengajaran Dharma oleh Yang Mulia Bante Paññasāmī. Bapak Ibu, kami persilakan untuk bangkit berdiri. Kita akan mempersilakan Bante Paññasāmī dan Rinpoche untuk meninggalkan ruangan dan kita memasuki sesi lunch break.